The damage from the last wildfire season is catastrophic, but help to restore forests and communities is on the way. I'm Pilla, and welcome to the Climate Report, where we wrap up the most important climate news of the week. And starting it off, Vice President Kamala Harris visited Southern California to offer $600 million in disaster funding for recovery efforts after the region's historic wildfire season. Now, the federal funds are part of a $1.3 billion commitment to local communities across the country to help clean up hazardous materials, restore forests, and repair infrastructure damaged by wildfires. Fires in California burned over 2.6 million acres in 2021, with large, damaging fires becoming more common due to climate change. Well, the rooftops of big box stores in the U.S. could produce enough solar energy to meet half their electricity needs. A report by the Environment America Research and Policy Center and Frontier Group suggests Walmart leads the way in rooftop solar potential, followed by Target and Home Depot. Now, there's over 100,000 superstores in the nation with over 7 billion square feet of rooftop, which is roughly the size of El Paso, Texas. And if all had solar power on its roofs, it would be the equivalent to powering nearly 8 million homes. For the first time ever, scientists have discovered toxic nanoplastics at both the North and South poles. And it proves even the areas most untouched by humans are still feeling the effects of the plastic pollution crisis. Nanoplastics are even smaller than microplastics and are considered more toxic because of their ability to make their way through the air. Now, researchers collected polar ice from Greenland and Antarctica, and they say wind and water currents have carried the tiny plastic particles to the poles for decades. Lake Mead has become the symbol of current water crisis in the West. It stores Colorado River water for use by people in California, Nevada, and Arizona. But right now, the lake is at its lowest level since it was originally filled back in the 1930s, forcing the region to declare a water shortage for the first time ever. Now, the reason? A combination of decades-long drought, climate change, and growing demand for water. This white line is the bathtub ring around Lake Mead. It's a constant reminder for Boating Lake Mead's Director of Operations, Bruce Nelson. The lake is at a historically low 1,067 feet above sea level, affecting boat launch ramps and his customers.
Now they're down to 1 or 2 lanes, and you might have to wait a while. And that's problematic for boaters trying to get out and enjoy themselves or get off the lake and go home.
Bruce's grandparents built the family-run marina back in 1957, but the launch ramps weren't designed for the water's current level. Now, boaters can wait up to 3 hours to get in or out of the water. The National Park Service extends the launch ramps, but as the water levels keep dropping, Bruce has to keep moving the marina, a big investment in time and money.
We have to add power and sewer and water and lift stations and all these things that nobody sees that have to exist for the marina to be there.
Lake Mead provides drinking water to 25 million people, but decades of drought have caused record low levels, prompting the Bureau of Reclamation to declare its first ever water shortage for 2022. Lower Colorado Basin Region Public Affairs Officer Patty Aaron says climate change is only exacerbating the water problems of the West.
Temperatures are higher faster than we expected. The soil moisture is extremely low in the upper basins.
That means snowmelt seeps into the parched soil rather than running off into the Colorado River and into Lake Mead. But water leaders in the lower basin states have agreed to the 500-plus plan, leaving 500,000 acre-feet of water in Lake Mead.
Collaboration is key. The Colorado River is the lifeblood of the Southwest.
Climate change is creating uncertainty, making it harder to predict snowfall and what Lake Mead will look like in the decades ahead. So to save this water supply, Bruce says everyone must conserve.
It'd be nice to see the same regulations that are in Las Vegas, such as, when you water your lawn, how much lawn you're allowed to have, buying back lawn and putting in desert landscaping. It would be nice to see that happen in other states too, where you don't see the lowering lake level. You just turn your faucet on and water's there.
But he hopes that water consciousness can be enough to avoid the lake's level from falling further, risking more water cuts and exposing more of the bathtub ring, an unavoidable truth that the West is drying up. And according to NASA, human-caused climate change is warming Earth's atmosphere, driving drought conditions to be more common and harsher. And NASA has tracked the steady heating of our planet since the industrial age. The agency measures global average temperature using a very complex system of land weather stations, weather balloons, radars, buoys, and satellites. Now, to date, we've warmed 1.2 degrees above pre-industrial average temperatures. Climate scientists believe we have to stay below an increase of 1.5 degrees Celsius to limit the worst effects of climate change. Now, take a look. This is the metric and standard we'll be keeping an eye on in the weeks, months, and years ahead. I'm Sarah Pilla. Thank you for joining us. This is the Climate Report.